What is happening, Patriots? It's your boy back again with another video here. So there's like this meme that's going around, or this popular phrase that's going around that, oh, the reason why everything's so screwed up and people are fighting is because of social media. Social media is completely to blame. No, social media, remember I said this, social media accelerates. It's an accelerant. Imagine you have a fire. Okay? Let's say you give it tons of oxygen. Okay, that makes it is an accelerant. Oxygen is an accelerant for the flame to grow and get out of hand. It's not the flame itself. It's not the fire itself. Okay? The reason why people are going so crazy and they can't get along has to do with a lying media, corrupt institutions, and all these grifters that are capitalizing on the opportunities. Okay, let me explain. So, we have these news media organizations. The way it goes, and you guys can buy old journalist textbooks if you want. I think it was like my third Facebook Live back in like 2017 I covered this. Buy some old journalist textbooks. It is your journalistic duty to holistically cover a problem when you cover a story. It is your journalistic obligation, duty, and responsibility to cover these problems. Okay? We don't have that anymore. We have, because of freedom and because of monetization, profit maximization, news agencies have discovered you're better off targeting your news coverage to a certain demographic and then heightening the story, stretching the story and heightening it to get maximized profitability. And a lot of these news agencies, they've captured their audience. As they capture an audience, then they can have a subscription, make a subscription. And then when they have, it's sort of think of it like a paywall. They can have, it technically is a paywall, but think of when you have a subscription, then you can ramp it up even more because you're not subject to the same kind of scrutiny when you have have a subscription style service. Not like a YouTube, but I mean like an actual paywall where you can't access the services. Now, we see these people as let's say they subscribe to the New York Times, Washington Post, whatever, or some of these other news agencies, they're not getting the full story. And when you ramp it up about Trump starts this insurrection, it's a constitutional showdown. I mean, guys, this sophistry is ridiculous. The old days, if we went back 50 years ago, they would have the news coverage of, Trump protesters stormed into the White House, but with help with the local police, Capitol Hill police, DC police and such. They would cover the story both sides holistically, like their responsibility. But here's the deal. The reason why journalists don't do that is because, again, it goes back to profit maximization. Profit maximization. So, people who they don't have a lot of time on their hands, or they're very susceptible to propaganda, for whatever, there's a whole bunch of reasons why. Refer back to the 25 cognitive biases. Look it up on the internet if you want to know why. But anyway, some people are very, very susceptible to propaganda. That's a whole other rabbit hole. So these people that are susceptible, they're going to share these articles and they're going to go around. See, I told you, Q's out. They're going to bring in helicopters. They're going to fly it in and they're going to do this. And, there's underground like alligators. They're waiting to, pull out a trapdoor and drop Trump and eat. I mean, guys, the conspiracy theories are nuts because we live in all these different silos. Why? Because, again, I'll say it 100 times. These corporations that are headed by these media corporations, their interest is not the truth. Their interest is profit maximization. Okay? So when you have all these people that are siloed in all these different areas and they're getting reinforcement and reinforcement and reinforcement in their own little political wheelhouse or ideological beliefs, what's going to happen is once we're all sort of in our own little political silos, social media is the place where we go to meet each other and we go to share each other's and challenge each other's ideas. Now, let me ask you guys an honest question. Rhetorical, requires no answer. You can answer it in the comments below if you'd like, okay? What the hell do you expect when you have a bunch of Alex Jones followers on one side, a bunch of, say, Young Turks followers here, a bunch of Vox and Salon and Slate and Daily Beast subscribers and such, when you have like these really segmented, highly segmented followings, and all of a sudden you meet these people, by the way, these are echo chambers. Admit it if you want. It's up to you. They're all echo chambers. When all these different echo chambers all meet to challenge each other's ideas, someone like me is like, okay, our chromosomes say men and women aren't exactly the same. We're very different based on our biology. If I challenge that question to people who have money, who have influence, and it doesn't really benefit their bottom line, to tell the truth. It benefits their bottom line to keep a narrative going. That's our buzzword, narrative. A lie, whatever you want to call it. Some people say lies don't exist. Everything's subjective. There's no truth. Those are the postmodernists. There's no truth. There's no, you invent your own truth. That's, again, I talked about this a long time ago with ideological, subversion. Anyway, these moral relativists, postmodernists, they say there's no such thing as truth. So at the very base level, the baseline level, we can't even have a discussion because, again, these people are being reinforced in their own silos of thinking. They're reinforced in their own little silos. I can't emphasize that is the actual problem. There is no middle-of-the-road journal, news agency that just covers the facts. And because again, this is a different topic, but because the Overton window has shifted so far to the left, what was once considered good journalism is now considered far-right activism. Okay? Again, the reason why we can't have these discussions out in the open and handle these problems is because these silos have really polarized people. And again, social media is where we meet. It's the meeting place. It is the contact point where we share these ideas. And that's where you see the fights, okay? You see the fights. Did social media invent the fights? No. It's an algorithm that's going to feed you, reinforce whatever your preferences are. It's going to reinforce whatever you're throwing out there. Because why? Their monetization model is based off of ads. And they want to sell ads based off of what you're posting and such. And again, you guys, for everybody that wants to sit here and tell me this is a capitalism problem, it's really not. It's an honesty and integrity problem, okay? And it starts with you and me. It starts with you and me. It doesn't start with capitalism. Capitalism is not to blame for this. What's to blame for this is you have people who are fundamentally dishonest people. They're fundamentally dishonest. But they realize being dishonest, they can make a profit. Okay? And by the way, I know people on the right wing that have a profit. And because we have an environment where no one really tells the truth, everyone's just kind of like singing their own song. What does that make the environment perfect for? Conspiracy theorists and grifters. Now grifters, they're like the people that create all these different products, or the people that create all these different, whatnots. I don't even know what to put it, but we'll just say, we'll call them information products they're selling. Okay, to try to simplify this as much as I can. I have a solution for you. Buy this product, I'll teach you how. And you buy their product and you realize it's nothing even close to solving the problem. Hey, they got the money. Cool, they made their money. And guys, these grifters are good at adjusting on the fly. Call them charlatans, call them whatever you want. So we live in this post-truth world all because of the damn postmodernists. It's because of these postmodernists. They think that power is the only thing that really exists and truth is entirely subjective. Let me tell you something. I get this phone, I drop it, you drop it, different people drop it. We're all going to have the same experience. Why? Because gravity is right every single time. We can all verify that. But we have these people, they're into sophistry and spin and creating narratives that, no, it wasn't gravity. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. And again, there are a certain segment of people, look up the 25 cognitive biases. They are very, 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 very susceptible to this type of sophistry because it validates their feelings. Maybe they had a tough childhood growing up. Maybe they're just not right in the head. I don't know. But it validates their worldview and makes them feel good. That's why they don't have to actually challenge these beliefs out in the real world. Because again, it goes back to their feelings. And when it comes to emotions, that's what actually moves people. It's not logic and reason. What do they say? Facts tell, but stories sell. I mean, stories go right to your heart. And again, I hate to keep rambling on about this, but guys, you're going to hear from everybody under the sun that social media is to blame for everything. No, It is not. Social media is the meeting place. You are literally blaming a plane crash on gravity. Social media is designed for us to socialize and connect with one another. It's doing its job. The problem, these postmodernists, the grifters, these lying news agencies, I've said this 100 times. These news agencies do not tell you the truth. They say what they say to maximize profits. I can't say that enough. I don't know why the hell so many of you act like that's not a problem. So many of you act like, oh, but Jake, it's not that big of a deal because the government's doing this, the government's doing that. Guys, if we have the truth, people can make informed decisions, okay? The truth isn't being told. It's being spun with a narrative. It's being spun. Why? For profit maximization for these firms. Am I angry at the firms? No. They're doing what's best for them. But, we have to take the responsibility to seek this stuff ourselves. If you have people that are just sharing articles from Slate and Daily Beast and all these fringe leftist ideologies, they're just sharing articles and they're not even fact-checking anything. And I don't mean Facebook bot fact-checking. I mean real fact-checking. Getting to the bare bones of this stuff. Reading a 58-page FDA peer-reviewed freaking study. That's what you freaking do. Not this stuff where, Bill Nye, the pseudoscience guy, says men and women are exactly the same. It's how you identify. If you identify as a woman, therefore you're a woman. Okay, I don't have much more to add. I think I'll just leave it right there, guys. But just know, when people are trying to give you this spin of, social media is for all our blames, guys, we had social media from 2006 when MySpace came up. I think Facebook was somewhat getting popular in 2006, all the way to 2016. That's a decade where we didn't have this polarization. Yes, there was some polarization, but not like now. Why? Because you have all these, again, media companies maximizing their profits, spinning a bunch of lies, telling their audiences what to do, and their audiences are stupid enough not fact-check themselves, not ground themselves to reality. And what happens? Social media is the place where you go and holy shit, you meet somebody who says, I believe in biology, evolutionary biology. You have another person that says, men and women are exactly the same and there's no difference at all, and if there's any difference, that means you're a bigot. And then you meet another person that says, Jesus invented everything, and and then between those three worldviews, you're going to have some real challenges of where these origins come from. Okay, and again, it's good we have these discussions with one another and hash these problems out. But what happens is you have these news organizations that call their opposition fascists. They call them racist and fascist, and that is a character assassination. You're not challenging their ideas. You are assassinating their very character when you do that. That's where the fighting comes in. Okay? And that's what gives the fuel for the fire. But again, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, guys. No one's talking about this. I'm giving you guys the goddamn truth, okay? Nobody's telling you this stuff. I'm giving you the truth. Okay? That's the honest to God truth. And this isn't a right-wing, radical perspective. I'm giving you guys the actual truth. That is the truth. These new media companies make more money when they segment their audiences and tell them spin whatever lies to maximize their profits. It's their freedom. Okay? This is the result of capitalism. Good on them. It's up to the individual to see the truth. It's not up to these news agencies. I know journalism gave up its duty, its obligation and responsibility to cover a story honestly. Guess what? In a free market, they don't have to do that. Industries can change organically, guys. They don't have to do that. It's up to us to find the truth, okay? I can't... Damn, anyway, I'll just quit rambling. But anyway, I got to get back to work, but I just thought I'd make this video. So I'll end with this. Social media is not to blame. Stupid, susceptible people that don't question, look for the truth, they're to blame. Okay? And you could say lying news organizations pushing spin and sophistry. They're also to blame. Anyway, take care.